Hello there and welcome to another video. So today there's a giant mosquito that's like this big all around the window behind my phone here. So that's the bug of the day today. I have my water and I have my coffee. Miko's meowing per usual and Charlie is lounging right behind me. I will show you. There's little Charlie boy. And actually, one second, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, in this video, it is yet again a presence practice. So, it's just going to be me talking and simultaneously being present. Which actually, I have not yet meditated yet today. So that's the next thing on my to-do list, or I don't know if it's a to-do list, but whew, it's quite hot in here. Very hot outside and very wet. It's moist. It's, what's that called? Hydrating, what's that called? Not dry heat, but like moisturized heat, whatever that's called. And yeah. So, it's very moist in the air. I feel quite hot. It's wet outside as well because it rained last night. And yeah, so I went to bed last night and I was so tired. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, I see. Sore throat, just not feeling good, just like not feeling good. Just like the beginnings of a sickness is what it feels like. It could be from lots of different things. My initial thought was, oh, it's from my niece, because last night when I came back from work, we were sitting on the couch and she wanted me to sit next to her and she kept coughing openly and she kept sneezing. And I was like, and we're in very close quarters, so it might have been from that. Otherwise, I was holding a kitten, like a kind of wild kitten. It wasn't really like a house cat, so like a farm cat kitten. The other day, I was holding the kitten and I was like, touching it. So maybe the germs from that kitten, and then also at that house too, she has children and I was in their house, so it could have been from that, touching germs, or also it was that long day of the open house at the photography job a couple days ago. So it could also be from that, just the sheer amount of people that I was interacting with, especially children, because apparently children get sick more easily, and etc., etc. So I woke up, felt that way, and I was like, oh man, no, I don't want to get sick. I really don't want to get sick. I have a lot of things I want to do this upcoming couple of weeks. Like, it's very important that I don't get sick, is how I feel. So yeah, I stirred together some lemons, a squeeze of lemon, and some emergency, if you guys know what that is. It's like those packets of, I guess, I don't really know what's in it, but zinc and vitamin C, I don't really know what's all in it, but so yeah, I drank that. Hopefully that will help. And then I just a few minutes ago took some Tylenol, which actually I prefer Advil, but yeah, I put on a little bit of makeup. I have yet to do some muscles, do some stretching, do some dancing, and do my meditation. And then I need to put my clothes in the dryer. So, yeah, right now I'm home alone. That's why I'm really relishing my time. My mom, sister-in-law, and niece are somewhere. I know they went to the farmer's market, which actually I did want to go there too, but I didn't, which is fine. As of 5 minutes ago, the farmer's market is done. So yeah, I'm guessing they will be back any minute. And yeah, clearly I'm not at all in a situation where I even need to consider having a child. But obviously it has been on my radar just because I've been around friends, family, I guess my job as well, amongst children. Yeah, I just, hearing the stories too, like, I don't know, I get really weirded out by things. Maybe I wouldn't if I was actually in the situation, but like the idea of having a little human in my belly, that is so psychedelic to me, like so hard to even comprehend, And yeah, there's just that concern, at least for me personally. I mean, maybe this is sharing too much, but I'm like, I personally am concerned like that I would get psychosis or something. I heard that people like after they give birth or maybe while they're pregnant, I don't know, they like go into psychosis, and that does run in my family. And that's always been like something I'm really scared of, hence why I don't want to do any drugs or anything, because I don't want to become psychotic. So yeah, just that idea of like having a child inside of me, and then also the prospect of the possibility of going into like pregnancy psychosis or something. Again, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's more so after you give birth that it happens, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that'd be so scary. And just the process, like I do not like getting put under. Like when I got like teeth surgery, these are teeth implants. I got my wisdom teeth out. I've had lots of like teeth kind of stuff in my life. I do not like going under. Like, I feel like that's just, no, I don't like any sort of weird drugs in me like that. So yeah, just it was on my radar. And then, oh my gosh, it's so weird to see people drive by and like they're driving and they're literally holding their phone, one hand here and then their phone, and they're just looking down at their phone like this. This is like how they're driving. Like not even looking up. Anyways. But yeah. So that was on my radar. And then, oh yeah, and then again, like, I don't know. I guess it's not really, I don't need to ponder it so much, as I said. But again, if I were to have children, I would, of course, feel so much love and be amazed, and it would probably be the most amazing thing, etc., etc. But also, as I am not in that situation and I can again step away and just look at it, I'm just like, no. I remember, because again, like right now I'm like really relishing, I guess I always relish my time alone, to be honest. I guess I'm realizing this as I'm speaking, like I really love my home location, like wherever I'm living. I love to have that to myself, or maybe with one other person or something, but I really love to have my own space. It's like my own fantasy land. Like when I used to live at the farm, my grandparents' farm, it's like I would just wake up and I would just be in my own fantasy land, surrounded by everything I love, just putting on some music, dancing, however I feel like it, just doing my thing, and being surrounded by nature. It's like that, I love all that. Oh my gosh, I'm getting really, really hot here. Anyway, so yeah, yet again, I'm just like anticipating them coming back here, my niece and stuff, and I'm like, I just have this inclination in me that's like, I want to go leave before they return so that I don't have to be with them. I know that doesn't sound good to say such a thing, but that is how I feel. And it just reminds me, I had this little flashback whilst I was putting on my makeup. I was like, oh yeah, it was just last year, actually, I think, that I was subbing for a preschool here in town. It was hiring, what's it called? Whatever that word is, like one of the workers at the preschool had to go into surgery, so she was going to be gone for a couple of weeks, so they needed to, I guess, hire someone, to just take care of those couple of weeks that she'll be gone, whatever that's called. So I was hired, and again, it probably had a lot to do with the actual location, the preschool itself, the other teachers there and how they facilitated things, and just the general vibe of the place. And as I said, like it was just like really tiny, and there was like no space outside. You're just like next to this really busy street, so a lot of it probably was the environment. But even despite that, just in general, like all day being with these children, again, there is cool stuff, like it's really sweet, like there's lots of cool stuff that goes into it, but the generalized experience that I had is, get me out of here. The second that I stepped in, I was just like, get me out of here. I felt like I was a child myself that was like being forced to go to daycare. I'm like, no, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. It drained me. I didn't even feel like myself anymore. It was just like, again, that's just that one experience. It may not be accurate for other experiences, But oh my gosh, my hair is falling out so much because I didn't brush it after my shower. But yeah, I just really don't like it. I don't know. I don't really know how else to say it. I'm curious if anyone here is watching this, if anyone is still listening, what your experience with that stuff is, just curious. I don't remember what else I was going to say, but anyways, yeah. Stretching. Whenever I make that noise, like, I feel like everyone, whoever's around me is like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just stretching. I'm like, ooh. But yeah. I love this mug so much. I got that in Fargo. And yeah, now I'm just sipping on water. Oh yeah, I also got sick too. I had sorry again if this is TMI, but I had diarrhea this morning. Oh my gosh, look at all this hair that's coming out. I probably shouldn't just put it on the floor, but I'm going to for now. Yeah, I'm just not feeling my best. Yeah. Oh yes, no, I remember what I was saying. So yeah, anyways, I worked at that preschool for a couple of weeks, filling in for that lady. And then my boss at the preschool was like, hey, we would love to have you stay. Like, could you be a full-time? Like, or could you stay like just until the summer? Or could you stay through the summer? Or could you stay, we could hire you on for a year? Like, she was like practically on her knees begging me. And I was like, anyway, so I ended up just saying no, like I'm gonna quit. As in like, it wasn't like I just quit out of nowhere. It's like, as I said, I was just filling in for that lady. The lady was already back, so it was okay for me to leave. But then the boss was asking me to stay, But still, I was just like, I considered it, and I was getting paid a considerable amount more than my other job. But it was not worth it. I came to the realization, like, this job, that job back then, was draining me, draining my life force. Aw, that's cute. This old lady was, like, waving out the window. I think she was just feeling the air, but it looked like she was just, like, waving to everyone. All the houses. Anyways, yeah, I was like, no amount of money. I remember I would just like dread going into work, and I would just like sit in these different like parking lots and stuff, like on my break or like right before I went into work, and I would just be like, please, like I do not want to go back. I don't want to go. I'd be having those type of feelings. And then yeah, that's when I came to the realization that what, even if I got paid $75 an hour, I did not want to spend any more time there. Like no, that's how it felt. So I quit, even though it was a hard quit. Like it was difficult to quit because, as I said, it was kind of like trying to break up with someone that like still wants to make it work. So like she just would text me. She's like, "Are you sure? Like, can we meet up for lunch somewhere? Like we can talk about this, la da." And it's just like, no, I'm sorry. Like I've made my decision. Like I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but I was like, I had to be quite firm after a while. I was just like, okay, no, I'm done. And yeah. So anyways, I did have a wonderment. I was like, will I have any remorse? Like, will I have any regret or like kind of like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that type of feelings? No. From the instant that I was done there, like my last day, I got to leave. Excuse me. It was the opposite of remorse. I rejoiced. Like there was not even 1 milliounce of regret. Nowhere to be found. Nope. And now whenever I drive by, even just being in that vicinity of town, or when I drive by the place itself, because it's kind of on a busy street, all I can feel is, thank you that I'm not there. Thank you that I'm not there. Oh, So yeah, no remorse at all. No regret. I don't know if remorse is the word, but yeah. Oh yeah, actually I remember I was researching, like reading online posts about that when I was in the situation. I was like, why? I was just kind of like judging myself, I guess, whilst I was in that situation. I was just like, why is this so hard for me? Like, why am I so drained? Why do I dislike it so much? Because again, like, maybe it was just the preschool itself. As I said, it was like so many children. They were all like none of them were very nice. I'll just put it that way. There's only a few sweethearts, a few sweeties. Everyone else had like a huge attitude, and the teacher did too. One of the main teachers that I was mostly with. The other teacher, like in the younger people's place, she would have meltdown, just like, come on kids, like rah! Like she'd like freak out, and I was like, oh gosh. So yeah, it was kind of like the environment, because I wasn't like the head honcho. I was like the second tier. There's like the 2 main teachers, and then I was like the second tier that would just kind of like help out in the classroom. So it was kind of like up to the teacher to make the vibe for the most part. We just followed the teacher. But either way, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was researching though. I was like, is it like, I don't know what I typed in, but something like, really dislike working at preschool or something. And then I'd read these different like posts that people would write about, and they were just like, some of them that I read that kind of reinforced my decision to leave. They were like, in the posts, they wrote that it was this constant chaos, so stressful, like they ended up quitting their day preschool job, and then they went to some boring office job, and they said that they had no regrets at all. Like, they so preferred to go to work and just have, even though it was boring perhaps, like to have that chillness at their boring desk job rather than this chaos, just, oh my gosh, of the preschool, what's it called? Yeah, preschool. And I was like, okay, yes. So, and because, there's so much more to say upon it too, like, this is just a tip of the iceberg of it or whatever, but also my position at that preschool job was pretty much like, I was pretty much just the person that had to say, hey, everyone, come back here, or no, you can't do that, or like, nope, time to put that away, okay, no, listen, it's like, that's all I was doing for 8 hours. And it wasn't so much like getting to chat with them and be like, so, how's your life? Like, what are you into? I didn't really get to connect with them like that. It was more just like constantly having to like parole the classroom, and that's just not my scene. That's not what I want to be doing. So, I think I might want to braid my hair. And as I said, I need to do some meditating. I don't really know yet again how present I was, but okay, I do feel more present now. I'm just moving my jaw. Yeah, I did vacuum my room, which felt good today. I did put my clothes into the washer because I'm like out of underwear. So after this, I shall put my laundry into the dryer. And yeah, I kind of cleaned up a little bit of the kitchen, not so much, but somewhat. And I ate a bagel and a half. No wonder I'm so full right now. And also I put together a video, like got it ready to be uploaded from the thing I edited it from, and now I have yet to upload it to the YouTube. So, do. All right, well, I shall now meditate and put my clothes into the dryer, and soon enough the commotion will be back, the hurricane of people. I'm guessing they'll be back any minute, as I said. Sorry, itching my nose, but there is only the now. Right here, right now. This is the one moment ever. Quite amazing. Actually, let's end this with, I'm gonna grab my book, The Artist's Way. Let's just open to a random page and see what it says. I'll be right back. Please hold. Okay, I also always want to show There's Charlie and there's Miki. They're both just laying there. I think they're very much enjoying this time by themselves as well, because my niece is just really rough with them. Oh, her little paw. Okay, so the artist's way. I like to just open up a random page. That's how I do it sometimes, so let's do it. Okay, well, here's a little quote on the side. Right there. Learn to get in touch with the silence within yourself and know that everything in this life has a purpose. Being present, transmuting the ego, the pain body, and all that. Being the observer, allowing the moment to be as it is, and letting it flow through. Noticing any reactions, but also just being the observer. Letting them happen, but just being the observer. Yeah, okay. I'll read it a little bit more. Okay, how about I'll just read a few of these little underlined things on both pages, and then we can commence or conclude or whatever that word is. All sanity depends on this, that it should be a delight to feel heat strike the skin, a delight to stand upright, knowing the bones are moving easily under the flesh. That's kind of random, but okay. Not surprisingly, the most poisonous playmates for us as... Sorry, my nose is itchy. Okay. Not surprisingly, the most poisonous playmates for us as recovering creatives are people who are people whose creativity is still blocked. Our recovery threatens them. Perhaps they still feel smug, thinking about how much more creative they could be than those who are doing it. I've totally had that happen to me. I remember years ago, this was like 10 years ago, on a different YouTube channel, I've had numerous different YouTube channels. At the time, I was making these little like vlogs of my travels. I was traveling around California and the West Coast and stuff, and just like making these little videos. And I remember one of my brothers commented on that, and he was like, I could do this way better than how you're doing it. And actually, I didn't have any reaction. I actually thought it was funny. And I just said, okay, then do it. And I'm not even saying that to be snarky. Like, I actually want to see how people would make vlogs. Like, my friends and family in my life. Actually, on my birthday last year, that's what I asked. I asked for my birthday gift. I said, make a little vlog of your day. Even if it's just 2 minutes long, 30 seconds long, or 20 minutes long. Like, I'm just so curious to see how people would create a video. But anyways, especially of like their day or their talks or something. Every time you don't follow your inner guidance, you feel a loss of energy, loss of power, a sense of spiritual sadness. Shakti Gawain. As Black creatives, we focus not on our responsibilities to ourselves, but on our responsibilities to others. We tend to think such behavior makes us good people. It doesn't. It makes us frustrated people. The essential element in nurturing our creativity lies in nurturing ourselves. Through self-nurturance, we nurture our inner connection to the great creator. Through this connection, our creativity will unfold. Paths will appear for us. We need to trust the great creator and move out in faith. Actually, that's something that Eckhart talked about. Okay, here's another little thing. The process, not the product, will become our focus. Eckhart, I listened to a really cool thing that Eckhart was talking about in some podcast yesterday. He was describing, how it's like this childlike thing that a lot of people have this like comfort in this idea of God, like praying to God, or having this relationship with God. And he said it's like this kind of like childlike nostalgia or like childlike comfort kind of thing. But he said that once you kind of move beyond that, you realize it's not like this other entity like God, He described it as I oftentimes always say, Eckhart describes it way better than how I describe it, in my opinion, of course. But anyways, he said that it's not like just a separate thing, you know, it's like the force, which actually I had this kind of little epiphany within myself, but it's like everything in this life, seen and unseen, like the unknown energies behind things, is all the force. I guess like a Star Wars says, you know, it's like the force. It's all. That's why Eckhart says he doesn't like to use the word God, because oftentimes in our minds we conjure up this image of like a big man or something. But really it's like the energy, it's like energy, the force, you know, it's like this mystical energy it's in everything. So it's also in us, you know, and as he describes it, it's like this energy is coming forth in all these different ways, all these different incarnations to experience life, and then to awaken to realize that it is life. You know, it's like a really interesting thing to try to like describe. But yeah, so it's like, it's not like this, oh God, it's more like you're in with God. It's like, you know, yeah, it may not make sense when I say it, to be honest, but it made sense to me. And now it's kind of interesting because I keep seeing all these people, you know, talking about God and like, you know, all this like separate like God type of thing, when really it's like, what is God? Okay, God is the mystical, it is the everything, you know, it's the stuff that we see, and then it's the stuff beyond what we can ever comprehend. It's what even is this, you know, it's like the creation and the non-creation, but all the creation comes from the non-creation, I think. And yeah, it's like beyond our own understanding, but I pause because I'm like, I don't even know how to say this, but it's like it is everywhere and it's in us as well. So it's not like you have to like pray to like this separate thing and like feel this comfort and like, you know, it's like it is everywhere and in us and a part of us, you know. Well, on that note, I bid you adieu. And I shall carry on. Oh, the clock stopped. Wait, that was so weird. What time is it? That was kind of trippy because like I looked over there before and I was like, oh, the farmer's market ended 5 minutes ago, so they're gonna be back quite soon. And now I look again and it's still just 5 minutes after noon, after 12. So I actually don't even know what time it actually is. Let me check. Okay, so it is a little bit after noon. That's funny that the clock did stop, so interesting. Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye now, so